Hi guys, this is just a little tutorial to talk through the idea of using the brainstorming notes to make an outline. It's really not different from things you may have done in the past, like using your helps to do an 11-minute essay. If you ever did that for the Gretchen Burnaby stuff, this is really what we're basing it on, but we just adapted it a little bit using the writing revolution to help kids be a little more precise in their topic and concluding sentences. So for example, I filled out the student handout for the animal personality types and the zodiac and everything like that. So this is an example of how I filled mine in. I was an owl, and then this is where I just jotted the most important aspects of the personality type. And then down here where it says to explain why using examples, I did explain why. I didn't really put in examples, and I did that on purpose because I think kids will often not be specific enough. And so I kept it very general because I suspect many kids will, and then we can teach them how to revise that later. So I would model transferring what was on the last slide onto my paper. So for example, I thought the Myers-Briggs was pretty accurate, so I just made my topic sentence very, very plain. The Myers-Briggs was accurate, and then I jotted just three things. And it's okay if you want to do all four, I just did three. And then for my concluding sentence, I made it the exact same because teaching kids that the message of the concluding sentence is essentially the same as the topic sentence. We're just going to teach them how to revise that later. So then here's the rest of mine. The zodiac chart accurately described me. The zodiac chart accurately described me. And then up here, I forgot to take the picture at that stage, but I just put the four adjectives from the student handout about me. And then the Chinese zodiac was correct for me. And again, I just put the adjectives from that chart in here. And so you'll see that on the next slide. And then my concluding sentence is that personality quizzes are accurate. And that's also, of course, my thesis. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. So then the next step is to show the kids how to revise the concluding sentence. So it means the same thing as this, but it doesn't say this. It's not worded the same. So for this one, I chose to do a complex sentence. And so what I would do with the kids is give them a list of Awubis words, probably. I know you've probably covered that with complex sentences. And then I would model, I pick even though, because not every single thing in that description was about me, but overall it did match my personality. So I chose even though. And you could model with a different or even more than one subordinating conjunction just to see how it might look if you used although or something like that. And then at this point, you would have them do theirs and do maybe a think, pair, share, have the kids share out how they change theirs, and definitely a check for understanding here. So then, paragraph 2, I would model the zodiac chart accurately describe me. I don't want to keep using the exact same words everywhere, so I would talk to them about finding synonyms for the word accurate. And so I would model using the thesaurus to choose one. So I ended up choosing correctly as my synonym. And I'm going to also revise this to include a transition word or phrase because we're moving from paragraph 1 to this next example. So I added another personality predictor that correctly described me was the zodiac. And I used predictor instead of quiz because the zodiac's not a quiz. So I wanted to be really precise there. These were the four words that describe me. And then my concluding sentence, all I did was revise it to be a question. I got that from the Writing Revolution. So isn't it amazing how right the zodiac can be? It means the same thing. And that's kind of the deal. So then my next one, the Chinese zodiac was correct for me, and there were my adjectives to describe me. The Chinese zodiac was correct for me. Again, I'm probably going to change that up with a synonym because I don't want to keep using the same word. And I did this one with a transition word as well. So I ended up going complex again. Although some parts of the Chinese zodiac were negative, it still closely matched my personality. So I went with closely instead of correct. And some of these were a little negative. It gave me a little sad feeling inside. But I was right. Okay, and then my concluding sentence overall, personality quizzes are accurate. That was my thesis. I'm going to to revise that to be an imperative, again, got that from the Writing Revolution. So I'm going to do a command, find out if personality quizzes describe you. And the goal here would be that after each step, you would have the kids revise their own, think, pair, share, and that you would check for understanding and see who might need further support in this area. And that's how you do this lesson. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.